you're tagged in. You're tagged in.
I'm tagged in.
Yes, you're tagged in, and we're live. Hello, everyone. We're live at 6 o'clock p.m. Going to give everybody time to start popping on and sharing the show. So take your time. Make sure you get your wine glasses up. Get them ready. Don't care what you have in it. Just get your wine glasses up. Alrighty. So you can go to this should be on your page. Welcome to the Lioness Roars Wine Glasses Up radio show. We're ready to go live. We're just going to wait for more people to tune in, to tune on. Once everybody starts logging on, we're going to take it from here, okay? There we go. There you go. You can turn it up. Everybody, this is Mr. Ibrahim Sulaimani. He's my special guest tonight.
No T, just Sulaimani.
Sulaimani?
Yeah.
So you just gonna sit here and correct me on my show, right? You gonna do that all night, right? No, I just want to see if everything is clear on your page because I tagged it. It shows you your page.
It's clear.
Okay, you want to see if you can hear it? You can turn your volume up a little. This is going to be a great show. This is going to be a great show. Everybody, please share. Yes. All right. There we go. There we go. The mic is working clear.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay, so it's gonna feel weird watching myself, but work with me, everybody. I'm watching myself. Okay. Hi, Kevin Baker. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Please feel free to share. I need you. I want you to share tonight's show. All right. First off, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's, Abraham.
Happy New Year's to you. Happy New Year's to you.
Yes, 2021.
It's here.
We made it. We made it. Okay, so everybody that's here today, we should be very grateful that we made it to 2021. But we must always keep in mind of our family and friends and people around the world that did not make it due to this pandemic. So we definitely send our prayers and our condolences and to let them know that they'll never be forgotten. All right. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Okay, come on. We're waiting on you. We're waiting on you. All righty. Feel free to comment, everyone, and let me know where you're tuning in from. This is Lioness Roars Wine Glasses Up radio show. If the words are backwards to you, that's okay. You already know it's the Wine Glasses Up show. I'm here at WCMD Studio. Yes, in Camden, New Jersey at Dare Academy. This is amazing. Thank y'all so much for bringing me on the team with TJI.
Thanks for being here.
I'm loving it. I've been hanging out with y'all and losing sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't no joke.
That's what we do.
That's what y'all do?
Yeah.
Okay.
24-hour job.
24 hours?
24 hours. Yes.
You can say that again. I'm telling y'all. I'm going to keep going in on this 4:30 a.m. kick, okay? Everybody, please continue to share. Hi, how you doing, Sean? I thought you was going to be here, but that's all right, sweetie. Go ahead and share. Share this live. We're gonna go in on so many topics tonight, everyone. We're gonna go into so many topics. You're gonna learn so much about Transformative Initiative.
Justice Initiative.
Justice Initiative. We're gonna go through this all night. Have fun with it. Love you too. Love you so much. You're gonna learn a lot about what they do here and how TJI came to birth. Full birth, that's what I call it. In order for something to be born, it has to, like as a woman, we go through the stages. And you have plenty of time to birth your baby. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about that. So many more people coming on. Everybody, if you've been on my page and you've been watching the Meet 'em at the Gates, if you haven't seen them, you might want to check that out. You're going to learn about what Meet 'em at the Gate means. We're waiting on Mr. Tony Henshaw to get here. We're pretty sure he'll be here soon. But in the meantime, we're going to get started with the Executive Director of Transformative Justice Initiative and how this operation came upon and you know why you did it. So we can start there before we actually get into the testimonies and you know I want them to feel it. I want them to feel it. Everybody, please share this live. I'm asking you to please share your live. Also, if you have comments, you can leave your comments. Ask Ibrahim anything you want to ask him. You can ask me anything you want to ask me. Remember, this is a mature adult show. Inspirational, motivation, education, and we getting it on. I have my wine in my wine glass. What you sipping on over there, Ibrahim?
Seltzer water.
Seltzer water?
Sparkling cider.
He going hard. He going hard. He got his sparkling. Let me hold that bottle up for a minute. Let me see. Sparkling. What's that? Your sparkling cider. Okay, hot taste. You want to clink real quick to the people? There we go. Hi. And this is how we start off the show, everybody. Okay. Mr. No. Let me go with Mr.
Call me whatever you want to call me.
Okay. I love this guy. His personality is so laid back and humble, but don't go to sleep around him because he is paparazzi. It's paparazzi. Okay. I'm going to start off with you. It's after 6. We like to start on time. How did TJI come about, and what is it about? Could we let the people know? First, you're going to introduce yourself, and then we'll go into the definition of TJI, and then we're going to roll from there.
Ibrahim Sulaimani, a juvenile lifer, did 30 years in prison. Got out May 24th, 2018, and now I'm here.
And now you're here.
Now I'm here.
Okay, so that's just straight to the butt of it.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to talk about what got you there? We just want to go straight into TJI.
It's up to you.
It's your testimony.
Well, you answer the questions. You ask the questions. I mean, I can just get on YouTube and talk forever if that was the case.
No. We
specific stuff.
Okay, we going in. We going straight from the door. All right, everybody. Yes. Thanks for everybody. Please share. I appreciate you sharing. We're about to get into Ibrahim's testimony. I want everybody to please pay attention. If you can hear us, please let us know. If there's any interaction, please comment and let me know. If you don't let me know, I won't know that you can't hear us or you can't see us. Please let us know, all right? Ibrahim, what happened back in your early juvenile years?
Well, 2018,
2018?
Yeah, excuse me.
Okay.
1988.
1988, there we go.
2018 is when I got out. 30 years ago, 1988, a fellow person was murdered. Myself and a co-defendant were incarcerated for it. He was an adult, I was a juvenile, so we went different paths.
Okay.
I went to the juvenile correctional facility in Trenton, New Jersey, or in Ewan Township, and he went to the county.
Okay. So, you say he went to the county. Well, I know we're not dropping names here. Anybody that's not involved, we don't drop names here. If you're not sitting here, your name does not get mentioned. So, in that experience, what happened?
What do you mean?
What far as the case? What happened? The murder.
Well, he was murdered. I mean, he was killed.
He was killed,
and he died. So other
that's
than
no
that,
go when you get it.
Yeah. So there's nothing else going on that.
Okay.
As far as what happened after that,
right.
I was incarcerated. Like I said, I went to the juvenile correctional facility.
How old were you then?
I was 15.
15. Okay.
What happened? I was arraigned. At about 2 months, I was arraigned on murder charges. 1 count knowing the purpose for murder, 2 counts of felony murder, and then weapons offenses.
It took only 2 months?
Well, to arraign.
Oh, to arraign. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, you wait for your next hearing. We went through a number of hearings, filing for Miranda throughout the statements, throughout certain evidences. Then finally we went to a Miranda hearing, a waiver hearing.
Okay.
During the waiver hearing decides whether you're going to be waived up to adult court or not, or remain in the juvenile court.
And this is all while you were 15?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is like the first 9 months.
The first, wow, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody knows that Eleanor Roosevelt is behind why we have a juvenile justice system. President Roosevelt's wife, Eleanor Roosevelt, is the one that initiated juvenile correctional facilities.
Oh, wow.
To separate juveniles from adults in criminal offenses. So juveniles are supposed to be tried in family courts. However, if you're black, and if you're black in New Jersey especially, no matter what you would, if you don't have, affluent, if you aren't affluent, you're going to end up waived up to adult court.
Okay.
That's just how it functions in New Jersey.
Hello?
Okay.
So, going through that process, you go through the rigmarole of hearings and court and all of this stuff. So, as it turns out, I was waived.
You were waived.
To adult court, yeah.
Okay.
I had a clinical psychologist come interview me, which is supposed to be one of the components for not waiving you up. If a clinical psychologist says that, okay, this child can be rehabilitated, they're supposed to work on repairing him.
So did that happen with you?
It didn't happen at all. As a matter of fact, they knew they were going to waive me up. We call it mandatory waiver.
Okay.
Because they're mandatory no matter what. And what made it, I guess you could say the key factor behind why, it was a mandatory waiver was that the prosecutor's office didn't present a clinical psychologist to counter mines. Okay. So it didn't matter. No matter what, they were going to waive me up to adult court. That was yeah.
So you were 15 while this was going on.
Yeah.
So, and they just immediately just put you in an adult situation.
Yeah.
What attorney allowed that to happen?
Well, it doesn't matter the attorney. It's the court system.
The court system, yeah. The justice, the so-called justice system.
It doesn't matter who your attorney is. Johnny Cochran didn't get OJ all by itself. It was a myriad of things.
Okay.
So no matter who you have as an attorney, the justice system determines what's going to happen to you. They could charge me with Kennedy's murder right now, and I could be tried guilty for it. I could be found guilty for it. That's just how the structural violence works. This is how this criminal justice system works.
Yeah, we don't talk about this justice system.
I don't know if you ever heard the saying, they could try a ham sandwich.
Oh, okay. Everybody, we're now being joined by Tony Henshaw. Tony, want to say hi to everyone?
Hey, everybody.
Omar Dollar.
Omar Dollar from this side.
That's Omar Dollar?
Yeah.
He called from Roadway, from East Jersey State Prison?
Yes.
Everyone, we have a special guest online from East Jersey State Prison. Don't want to introduce him?
This is our brother Umar Dollar. He served 100% of a 30-year sentence. He's currently waiting a full board parole review hearing inside New Jersey State prison system. We've been advocating for him. We wrote letters on his behalf, his family, our community, and everybody. And we're just trying to make sure that we bring people home who have done the time and have done what they're supposed to do as far as their full transformation. And we speak for him, and we'll let him speak for himself. Brother Umar.
Yes.
Go ahead, bro.
Nice.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello. Thanks for calling the Wine Glasses Up radio show. How are you?
You up? I am good.
Wow,
right
this is an honor to have you calling in. This is the first show.
Yes.
And we're sitting up here with the big execs, a TJI, meet them at the gate. And now we have a brother from the inside, from East Jersey State Prison, calling into the show. You don't know how much of an honor that is to me. Well, at this moment, you have the floor. What is it that you would like to say, Brother Omar?
Listen, I was listening to Ibrahim as he was talking about the criminal justice system. And one of the things is that a lot of people fail to realize is that, we can have a lawyer, but when you look at the system as a whole, the criminal justice system has the prosecutor's office, the attorney general's office. They have so many different elements that we having a lawyer, and sometimes not even they said even though we're indigent, we still are not able to get a lawyer, a public pretender. So we have to go and fight a lot of these things on our own. So I was listening at what he was saying, and he was absolutely being true in that we can have, all the lawyers in the world. But until we make this system, like, we're overcharged. I can give you my case as a perfect example. where I've been charged with felony murder and first-degree murder.
You said
So-
felony murder and first-degree murder you were charged with?
Yes. At 20 years old. So then you say, okay, if I'm charged with felony murder, that means that during the course of that murder, I committed a felony, which in this case was a burglary or a robbery. But then you say, you give me first-degree murder, saying that I purposefully and knowingly did this crime. Now, those two things are contradictions, because if I did it during the course of a felony, meaning I didn't go to actually harm the person in the sense of taking their life, I meant to commit a robbery, which turned into a murder. But then you say, with the first-degree murder, that I intentionally, that purposefully and knowingly went in to kill this person.
Okay.
So now, when we're charged, these are the two dynamics that they give the jury. So now, if they find me not guilty of the first-degree murder, they can still find me guilty of the felony murder and give me a life sentence. And then if they find me not guilty of the felony murder and give me the first-degree murder, then I'm still given a life sentence. So the prosecutor is giving this on both sides. Like, these are the things that we're fighting against, because now I'm being overcharged and then I get found guilty of both. You don't explain it to the jury properly, each count. So now when you don't do that, the jury thinks, okay, well, we can find them guilty of both, and it doesn't mean anything, which it does. It means everything. Because now when I appeal my sentence and they say, okay, the felony didn't happen, so we can take away the felony murder, but you still have life because you have the first-degree murder.
Okay. Wow. So it has to be a blessing to have Tony Henshaw and Ibrahim out here doing what they're doing. You know, keeping their word that they're going to fight for our justice and to change the justice system. How do you feel about that?
Yes, we have. They are doing extraordinary work. We have never, ever, ever, in my 30 years of incarceration, had brothers go out there and literally say, we are going to fight for what's right for us.
Yes. Yes. And we need so many more of our brothers and sisters out here that's been in, and that's home, and that knows what takes place in the prisons, and know that they have been wrongfully convicted or just been overcharged, just threw away like they were nothing. It's we have to do something about it now. I believe we was watching a video earlier today, Tony and I, where a video was sent to us about a Facebook friend of mine, and the video was about the justice system. What did you take from that?
It was about the death penalty and how unconstitutional and unjust the death penalty is, and that even if it's a state-sponsored execution, it's still murder. And it was wrong. It was morally wrong, fundamentally wrong, and legally wrong. But a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is the process in which they're using to determine guilt. People are procedurally not guilty. Because if the process is flawed and the procedures used in that process is flawed, then the outcomes cannot be just, right? So when you hear people say, everybody in prison say they're not guilty, and I hear that a lot. But then when I start explaining the processes that are used to determine guilt and how flawed they are, then how could the result be just? So, and that's where we're trying to get people to understand that the system is not broken. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do from its inception, to incarcerate bodies.
They need to hear you say that again. The system is not broken.
It's not broken.
It's designed to do what they want it to do.
Exactly what it's doing.
Okay.
This is not by mistake. This is by design. When you can take young men, black and brown bodies, and throw them away for decades, and now all of a sudden people marching in the streets 50 years later, right? So they thought mass incarceration was going to make our community safer. We will be suffering for the next 200 years because of what they did to us during mass incarceration.
And that's why we need to do something about it. Brother Omar, you're still there? Okay. May I ask, how are you doing right now?
Well, right now, I have diabetes. I have, underlying issues, which is another problem for me with how they're doing what they're doing with this justice system. They say that the COVID credits bill that they passed was for everyone in the beginning. Now they say, oh no, we're going to take out certain people, like 2C 11-3A.
2C 11-3A.
Yes,
Okay.
which is murder. So you're saying that I wasn't sentenced to murder. I wasn't sentenced to die, but you leave me in here to die when we were put in the bill in the beginning. Then they did what people don't understand is our families get behind these bills. They put themselves out there to push these bills, say, okay, I want my loved one home because they're dying in there. We literally watched our brothers being taken out of here.
Wow.
Ambulances never coming back after we've done 30 years or more with them in prison.
30 years.
Then they say, okay, we're going to take them out the bill. Then how did you do that when we're the ones that's dying? They go make a backdoor deal and say, okay, we'll take this in order to get it through. So who's suffering? Now today they come and say, okay, you can get on this list to take the COVID vaccine. You can take it or you don't have to take it. But if I have an underlying issue, this is harmful to me.
How many would you, well, I'm pretty sure it's many in prison that's locked down with you right now that is suffering from underlying conditions and that has the COVID. I'm sure you're seeing this every day.
Yes, every day. Like today, they just took about 4 people down to the wing, and they down to 2 down, which is the wing where they keep the COVID, the guys who test positive. They take them down there. So by and large, I'm seeing maybe 500-600 people, maybe within the last 6 months, something like that. We're seeing all these people going down to the COVID wing.
And how many coming back? And how many coming back up?
Now it's it's coming back because we're not dying as much now.
Okay.
So we're getting people that's coming back, but nobody comes back the same from COVID.
Yeah.
Nobody. And you can see how this is affecting their bodies and affecting them from that point on.
What could we do for you, Brother Omar? I have a comment on the live. People are hearing you. They're hearing your testimonies from East Jersey State Prison. Brother Omar, what's the last name again? Omar Dollar. And where you originally from?
I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, New Jersey. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Because we know a lot of Newark, New Jersey people on here that may know of Omar Dollar. Omar Dollar. Is there any, what type of help are you looking for right now? I have a lady by the name of Jackie Smith. It's just asked me, how could she help Brother Omar?
These are the things we have to, when they're putting these bills together and they're building these bills, you have Tone and Sulaimani who are a part of these things who can guide them in the direction to how we go about helping us with when they put these bills together, including all of us, including us into these bills. And right now, for one, and I know that other brothers have spoken to me, we don't want to be forced to take this COVID vaccine because we have no idea what this vaccine will do to us.
I want to repeat that. If anyone did not hear that, or Brother Omar Dollar just said that his health.
60 seconds remaining.
Okay, he's going to call back. He just said that they do not want to be forced to take this COVID vaccine because they do not know what's in it. If his phone go out, he will call back. So, Brother Omar, we'll be waiting for you when you call back. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So we're putting your testimonies out there. We'll be waiting for you to call back.
Okay.
All right.
I'll call right back.
Okay. Well, while we're waiting for Brother Omar,
the key part to this, to what he's saying is, you know, and this is why it's important for us to do this, right? Is to let everybody hear directly from inside and those that are outside and the people in the community that are bringing these stories to the forefront. So that way there is no speculation, there is no lying or what they say capping or none of this nonsense going on, right? We're not making this up. He's telling you exactly, and he's actually being modest. The way we can help him is help support his
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for
to
this
support
call.
his application for parole. We need to be writing letters on his behalf to the New Jersey State Parole Board. He's going to the full board, and he's going up. He has an opportunity to come home.
Yes, I'm back.
After 30 years. I was just talking about, Umar, about your upcoming full board hearing, right? And if anybody wants to help, he needs letters.
he needs letters
From the community supporting his parole efforts.
So where would they? Where would people send the letters to?
To the New Jersey State Parole Board. You could just look it up.
Can you do a petition?
You can just write letters.
Just write letters, okay.
To the New Jersey State Parole Board. But by the time we finish, I'm going to look up the address.
Okay. Everybody, if you, like I said earlier, any ways that you can help my brothers and sisters that's going through the unjust in these prison walls, that's coming up on the parole board hearings, any way that you can help with any legal consultation, all you have to do, and we're about to give you the information, is to write the New Jersey State Board, Parole Board.
One of the other things you have to realize is that he's not the only one. We have other brothers going up for seek parole.
Okay.
And we have brothers who went up to seek parole and were hit, who have their PhDs, like Russell Owens.
Right.
This guy's an ordained minister. He has his PhD.
To go right into that, here's Russell Owens right here.
Russell Owens? Oh, wow. Now we're going to have another brother on the line.
Dr. Russell Owens.
Dr. Russell Owens. He has a PhD. He's the next guest up on the Wine Glasses Up radio show to speak from East Jersey State Prison. Welcome, brother. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you for calling in. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Oh, I'm blessed tonight. I'm blessed.
Oh wow, that means a lot. That means a lot to me. Trust me. To hear your voice and to know that you're still in the fight, and to know that we're going to be out here fighting for you as well.
Without a doubt, I appreciate it. You know, can't give up.
Never.
Can't give up. You know, in the darkest hour, the darkest day, can't give up. You know.
May I ask, Brother Russell, how long have you been in?
31 years now.
31 years.
31 years. I came in when I just turned 19. 1989. Saw parole last year, 2019. In 2019, I saw parole. They gave me a 36-month hit. And I'm getting ready to start I just started my parole process again. You know.
Okay. What could we do for you? What could we do out here? Like, you know, you need, like Brother Omar Dollar. He say he needs letters. What could we do for you?
Yeah. Definitely support, you know, because, you know, there's this, you know, the myth of rehabilitation. You know, it just seems to be, it's a myth. Nobody believes that transformation is real. Nobody believes that transformation is possible, you know. So when you go to a parole hearing, the burden is on you. The burden is on you, and, you know, if you can't articulate yourself, you know, you could have gotten in trouble 25 years ago, and they'll hold that against you. You know, so you have to have, you know, you have to rewrite the narrative on your life, you know, and you can't do it by yourself. You need help. You know, people have to step up and help you out. You know, because when you're in that room, you're in there alone.
Mm-hmm. You're fighting for your life.
You're fighting for your life, and you have to answer. You have to answer for the worst day of your life. You have to give an account for it. You know, and for me, you know, the worst day of my life when I was 19 years old. You know, I'm a completely different person today. You know, transformation has taken hold of me. You know, so to go back that far and speak to that person, you know, is difficult. You know, and to be held accountable for the actions of that person is difficult.
Wow.
You know, so when I went to my last parole hearing, you know, they told me, you know, I was in there for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And at the end, you know, they said, you know, they felt as though I was going to commit another crime.
Wow. They just judged you right there.
Yeah, they felt, you know, and then I, you know, and I tried to express, you know, passionately that I'm not the same person. You know, for 30 years, I've not lifted a finger to hurt nobody. I've not committed one act of violence.
And he's been the head of so many educational and religious functions you wouldn't believe.
Yes.
So when you like, you know, you guys haven't met Dr. Owens, but when you meet Dr. Owens and you meet him, like he would be your Dr. Martin Luther King, I would be your Malcolm X.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
And he would be like the fruit of Islam.
Surrounded in love and protection and knowledge.
And then the thing is that we're building towards something. We're building towards that transformation to be able to have the opportunity to even show the transformation. Right. They decided that he wasn't worthy to reveal his transformation in 15 minutes after serving 30 years. They only gave him their ear for 15 minutes and said no.
I'm just feeling anger. I'm feeling a lot of anger right now hearing that. Can you imagine putting yourself, everyone here, imagine putting yourself in that position. Have you ever been in a position where you know you changed and you paid for your time, or you were innocent, and yet here are these people to sit right here in front of you and just tell you you're not worthy?
Well, for me, like I always, and Russ will tell you, I would say, if not Russ, then who?
Yeah,
like
he's the model.
He is the model. That's who we looked up to.
Right. So he is he's there.
They're
afraid of him. They're afraid of him.
They're definitely afraid. So for me, I'm saying I was worried, like I wasn't like Russ, but we made it out and he didn't. Like that was a complete shocker. Like I literally sat in my apartment and I cried, and I'm saying, like, how did I get out before him?
They intimidated.
It would be like you going to buy a house
right.
with a 400 credit score, and you getting it, and I can't get it with an 800 credit score.
So you know what it is. So we have to fight for them. We have to fight. We have to keep fighting. Over 31 years, and they still trying to hold you down.
Yeah, and you know, for me, what's so vexing is that for these past 18 months, you know, I was looking. You know, they could have gave me a reason. They could have said, Russell, this is why we're keeping you. But I'm here to tell you today that they gave me absolutely no reason. If you look at the sheet that they gave me, this is what they said on the sheet. They said, inmate is almost a good candidate for parole. More work needs to be done.
Almost.
So if 30 years of worth of work isn't enough, how is 36 months of work going to be enough? You can't, I mean, the math just doesn't add up.
So you did 30 years.
30.
So we're going to now give you months, right? They gave you a 36 month. You have to do half, right?
Okay.
So that's 18 months.
18 months. Mm-hmm.
Right?
A year or so.
So you're going to be ready in 18 months. And not the 30 years that you did before the 18 months.
Doesn't make sense. Definitely doesn't add up.
And not only that, most of this time, this 18 months has been during COVID, so you're not going to do anything else. There's no programs going on. School isn't going on.
You hit him during the height of COVID.
Oh my God! How do your family feel right now? Do you have anyone? You know, I mean, you've been out for 31 years away from your family. Do you have any family left, or what's going on? I gotta go to the mental with that.
my mom and my dad, they live over there in Pine Hill, and they're vibrant and they're strong, but they're elderly, and I worry about them. They're both on disability now. They're both retired, and they're at home. But, I thank God for Tone and Sulaimani, because they go by, they check on my parents and make sure that they're okay. But my fear is that I will lose one of them. And it didn't have to be like that.
Yes.
It didn't have to be like that. You could, my mom did an article for USA Today. Tone, you could just look at it and you see my mom was telling her story.
Yes.
She's telling her story. But it's a struggle, but we're holding on. I have a daughter, I have grandkids, so we're all holding on. But it's a struggle because we live in uncertain times.
Yes.
And life is tenuous at best. You don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. They don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know what's going to happen to them.
We're going to make sure that hopefully,
Listen, I don't want everybody to feel sorry, and that's not why we're sharing this. We want you to empathize, but we want to say that our brother is coming home this
He's
time.
coming home.
We're not letting this go. The last time, because we were, I want to say, we may have been a bit overconfident. You know what I mean? And we didn't do the due diligence that we should have did, making sure everything was aligned. But you can't control people.
Right.
Right? So that part of it, we didn't know what was going to happen and the way it was going to happen. What we know now is that 2021, the parole board got some explaining to do, Lucy.
Speak on it.
Y'all got some explaining to do. And TJI and the rest of our coalition partners, Wine Glasses Up, Lioness Roars, all of us. Dare Academy.
New Jersey Justice Prison Watch.
We coming.
Integrated Justice Alliance, Latino Action Network.
Black Men United.
All of us are none. City Girl Ambition. We're coming.
Dare
And
Academy.
we're bringing our brothers home. WCMD Media. We're bringing our brothers home. And not only are we bringing them home, this is why we're doing this, to make the community aware of the injustices that are happening with incarceration. Incarceration doesn't make us safe. If a cage could make us safe, why are these people still out here running these streets and these gangs shooting?
Yes. Yes.
There's no fear of a cage. The statistics and the research shows that incarceration loses its effect after 1 year. Everything else is overkill. But yet, as a society, we have blindly bought into that incarceration is the answer. You are still paying for my incarceration and I'm out here with you. They mortgage the cost of our 30-year sentences. And then they spread it now to parole supervision. You're still paying for it. You're still paying for me in there, and you'll still be paying for my supervision out here. So are we any safer?
So everybody that has that, we're paying for the immigrants. You're paying for everybody. You're paying for us. So if you want to get rid of the immigrants and not paying for their health care and all of that, then you should start here. And the same thing goes for the jobs inside. You say the immigrants are taking the jobs. No, the prison industrial complex is taking the jobs and they're putting them in prison. So somebody who could be making $4 a pair of panties for a Victoria's Secret on the street, they're making 50 cents a day in the prison. And that's like everybody, all the major companies.
Yeah. Slavery is
Slavery.
still
I
legal.
was about to say, yes, undercover slavery is still alive.
This is why we say it's actually overt slavery. And this is why the 13th Amendment and our next movement in 2021 is to remove the exception clause that makes slavery as a form of punishment legal in our state and in our country. These things are coming. They're only doing it because we're not people, we're slaves. Slaves are property. This is why I say it's not broken. It's 100%.
Designed.
It is designed. That's why they put the exception clause in the United States Constitution in the 13th Amendment. This is why it's there. Except for the cause of punishment. Except for the cause of punishment, slavery shall not exist.
And
Change is coming.
yeah, change is coming. Look at that. You hear
Change
me?
is coming.
Yes.
Change is definitely coming. And I'm gonna tell you, you know what drives me to survive?
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Is that I refuse to be remembered. I refuse for my legacy to be the worst day of my life. I refuse it. I refuse for that to happen.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm gonna fight.
Keep on fighting. We're gonna fight for you
I'm
out
gonna
here.
fight.
And one of the
Hey, but listen, I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Everybody be encouraged. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless
And
you.
be encouraged. I love you.
Bless
You have 30 seconds remaining.
For anybody that wants to write for Thomas Dollard and Russell Owens, the address is New Jersey State Parole Board,
They're still here.
P.O. Box 862, Trenton, New Jersey, 08625-0862. I'm going to say it again. New Jersey State Parole Board, P.O. Box 862, Trenton, New Jersey, 08625-0862.
we'll put the address up on Transformative J initiative later on tonight.
And,
Yes.
we'll also put their names and SBI numbers on there for anybody who want to write a letter in support of their parole. It doesn't matter where you are. You heard their voices.
Yes.
You heard their stories. We'll bring a lot of guys like this that are trapped. So everybody's happy Trump is leaving. But you have to understand 40 years of Biden made it possible for us to be in prison as kids for as long as we were. We were thrown away. We were fortunate. We made it out. But we're still not free. We're still not free. And you got to understand that the work is not finished. Biden or Kamala Harris has not proposed anything to undo 50 years of mass incarceration in our country. So the thing is, you could do something for the people and stop people from coming in. What about the people that have been trapped in because of those policies for the last 50 years? What are we doing for them? As Brother Umar explained, they were cut out of a particular bill because of their crime. Not because they did anything wrong, right?
Yeah.
They're serving the mandatory minimum portion of their sentence. What does that mean? The courts have said the minimum amount of time for your punishment is 30 years. After that, we'll negotiate. They're within 1 year of that. And then the legislator said, in a backroom deal, we're not going to do this. We're not going to let them out. When they stood on the names of New Jersey being the worst state in the country with the highest rate of COVID deaths.
And all those who died were
All the ones that died, 90% of the people that died in New Jersey were lifers. They would not have gotten out under this bill anyway. But yet they used their names, and I'm all for it, right? Their names weren't used in vain. I'm all for it. But what we have to understand, it would not have affected anything from those brothers and sisters that died in there, because they would not have been eligible because of a deal that was made by some unscrupulous people and some unscrupulous organization. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why we're bringing these people to you directly
Yes.
and sharing it with you directly. This is not word of mouth. This is not no stunt.
It's not alleged.
No, they're going to tell you themselves. They're going to tell their own stories. And you're going to hear from inside the houses of pain in the belly of the beast exactly what's going on.
Who we have on right now? Is that Brother Omar back? Or is it Russ?
Russ.
This is Russ. I'm about to give you Wally Williams.
All right. They coming on tonight, y'all. They coming on. They're telling their testimonies. Please listen and please.
Hello? This is
focus.
Wally Abdul Williams. To whom am I speaking?
This is Lioness Roars. How are you, brother?
I'm well. I mean, could be better, but, you know, it is what it is. It's the situation.
It's an honor
How's everybody else?
good.
We're here to get your testimony, and so everybody can hear what's going on with you and your case and what we can do. This is
Well,
the platform. This is for y'all.
Absolutely. Well, you just want me to talk, or you have questions? How do you want to do it?
Oh, I want you to talk. I'll come in between. I want you to let everybody know who you are, where you're from,
All right.
and then go on to your case right now and what's going on and how we can help you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. My name is Wally Abdul Williams. I was formerly known out in the streets as Wally Roars. I'm from East Orange, New Jersey. I've been incarcerated since 1989 with a sentence of 450 months. So you don't have to do the math. That's 37 and a half years. This as a consequence of what U.S. Senator Cory Booker calls stacked mandatory minimums, which has been a problem in New Jersey. And they did away with some of it at the federal level, but in New Jersey they have not as of yet. And what stacked mandatory minimums is I have a 30-year sentence for a homicide. I have a 2.5 sentence mandatory minimum on top of that for the weapon that was used in the murder that runs consecutive. And then I have 5 years mandatory minimum on top of that. These sentences should have been merged and not aggregated or ran consecutive to give me a greater sentence. And I'm in court now. In fact, I'll be going to court on Friday in Essex County, New Jersey, try to get my sentence modified because I have 31 and a half years in as of today, well, as of this month.
Okay.
So hopefully some of the, I don't know if you're familiar with the criminal, what is it called, the Criminal Disposition Commission's report that came out in November of 2019, where they put up 7 or 8 different recommendations for the revamping of the criminal justice system here in New Jersey under former Chief Justice Porritz and some other notary legislators. And one of the things that they put forward is doing away with the mandatory minimum for nonviolent drug crimes. And this was the primary recommendation. And ironically enough, even though this was about social justice and racial equality in this report, it's being held up because you have a legislator who wanted to introduce official misconduct. And if you're unfamiliar with official misconduct is, it's what police officers, correction officers, and elected officials get charged with when they commit crimes. So what they did was say, look, we know this is about racial and social justice, but if we get caught doing a crime, we don't want to do the same mandatory minimums that the poor people and, the common criminals do. We're above that.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't have to do that. So this is what's holding up the legislation. And the legislation would affect hundreds of incarcerated people in the state of New Jersey who have been in prison, languishing in prison for years under nonviolent drug crimes. And the legislator is holding this up for official misconduct to be signed off on. And they're holding the bill hostage.
How long have they been holding the bill? How long have they been holding the bill hostage?
The bill's been held up since the summer, June or July of 2019. It's supposed to have been signed. The governor has advocated for it and on 5, 6 different occasions at various press conferences, and they keep playing with it. But this is what they do. A lot of the legislation that initially they put forward when they do press conferences, it sounds like they're going to do something for the population in the prison, those of us who have been locked up under the supposed war on drugs from the 1980s, because that's what many of us are here for. Been locked up since the mid and late 80s and the early 90s. And when we first came to prison, our life sentence was 14 years and 8 months prior to seeing the parole board. Then once we came under 2C, a life sentence now is 30 years. And
I'm gonna
now
be
the
speaking on
guys
that,
who just
yeah.
coming in after us in 97 or after the No Early Release Act, their mandatory minimums are 60, 80, and 100 years. Why is the mandatory minimum keep increasing? And when you look at the population of the prison, it's all black and brown.
You just answered
When
it.
it was,
You just answered that question.
pardon me?
I said you just answered that
Yeah,
question.
yeah, no, it was a rhetorical question.
Right.
I already knew the answer to it.
Right.
I already knew the answer to the question. But, you know, this is what we're dealing with. When it was primarily white, that is, Italians and Irish and Polish people in the prisons in the 70s and very early 80s, you know, it was okay to have a 14, 15-year sentence because they thought those people were redeemable. And with us, coming to prison, most of us under the age of 26 or under the age of 21, and they say that we're irredeemable human beings, that we cannot be transformed, that we can't mature. I'll be 55 on January the 15th. I came to prison, I was 21 years of age. I am by no means the person that I was or the child that I was at 21, going on age 55. I'm a married grandfather, you know, going to college, and, you know, doing things to better the situation here in the prison before we get out. Like some of the people that you probably talked to, Sulaimani and Henshaw, and some of the other people out there running some of the organizations, some of the nonprofit organizations out there. These are people who've done long terms.
Oh yeah.
And started their process of change before they got out. They didn't start doing these positive things once they got out. They started prior to their leaving prison. Years before they left, they were doing things to affect change in the prison and within themselves. And there are those who are doing the exact same thing. This is what we strive to do. We're not going to give up because we got time to do. If I got to do every bit of my time, doesn't matter. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give in to the negativity. You know, that's not what we do.
Right.
You know? We're going to educate and lift these people who are here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to monopolize all of
No. I asked you to give, you know, your testimony, and through your testimony, a lot of us, especially myself, is being educated on what's going on with this justice system, what y'all going through, what y'all been through, and that's what new entry testimonies is about. Not just new entry testimonies, y'all calling me from inside. So It's going to be a lot of exclusives that's going to be on Tuesdays, and you know, I have a 2-hour platform, and I definitely want to continue to see this grow and get as much testimonies from all of you. Anything that I can do to help, this is what I'm here for.
I think what you're doing is much needed, and it is great. And I'm hoping for all the success. Anything that you need from us in terms of topics, discussion on. I mean, I don't know how to be fake. I don't know how to do the politician thing. I'm gonna say what I feel and what
That's
I
what
think.
I like. That's what I like.
The guys in here, we're not gonna pull punches. You know, so if you're having guests on there and they want politically correct answers, we may not be the people for that.
If you're not coming straight at 100, we don't need you. We don't want you. I like straight up testimonies.
Yeah, exactly.
I put in parentheses real life, real true testimonies. This is what God put on my heart years ago, to give testimonies. I don't do interviews. No. I get the testimonies because your test of your time and your life and experience you've been through. So this is what I'm in position to do, and I'm doing it. And I'm sitting between two. These guys are angels. Like you said, they started on the inside, doing what they're doing. Now they're out here and they're still pushing every day. I don't even think they sleep. Because I can tell you, the last 2 days I got minimum hours of sleep. But you come with them, and they said from the door, no nonsense. You're working.
You're dealing with stand-up soldiers. You know that. You know, we don't do nothing but salute them. Nobody can say nothing bad about them guys because they did their time, as the young people say, 10 toes down, standing straight up. and you know, we all had our struggles in there. But at the end of the day, you stand on your word, and that's who you are. And those guys, they stand on their word. When they say they're going to do something, they do it.
They do it.
And
Yes.
the people that, and the people that he's going to introduce you to in here, we don't deal with guys who not 100. They playing games or being shiesty. Nah, we ain't got time for that. So again,
Wow.
you know, this 30-something years is transformative for any person. You
Yes.
know, and
Yes.
when I say I'm not the same person, people from East Orange know me. You know, I'm well known in my town.
I know a lot of people in East Orange, and they're going to be seeing this live. If there's anything that you want to, say to anyone out there in East Orange, feel free to say it. They're going to hear it. I know a lot of people in East Orange.
Listen. I know the mayor, his aides, and a lot of the people that's from East Orange, from the masjid on 4th Avenue. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. What I want to say is this. For those of you who remember me from the streets and remember me for what I did, that's not the legacy that I want to leave in my life. That's not how I want people to remember me.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
What I want them to know about me is that I'm an adult. I'm a mature man, and I have different morals, values, and ethics than I did at 20 and 21. And I can't do nothing but apologize for contributing to the destruction of my community and the destruction of my city and those who I got addicted to drugs and the people that I disrespected and hurt.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
I deeply and sincerely apologize for all the wrongs and crimes that I did in the 1980s. And I don't say that to get pity or mercy. I say that because that's what's in my heart. And I don't want people to remember me as who I was, but who I am. Listen, Thank y'all for giving me the time to share my story, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Wow.
I told you.
I can't express to y'all what I'm feeling right now.
This is just one prison, right? This is just one institution out of 13. So and
that's East Jersey.
Miss Jackie Smith.
She's very active. Thank you, Jackie. She's very active on the live.
She's always around.
We are going to present this, but it's very. We got to be very careful, very strategic, and we have to be very deliberate, because just like we're open and honest out there, the enemy is always lurking.
Oh yes. Oh
right?
yes.
And we have to be very careful about who we. Let's be clear. It is not the lawmakers. They don't make laws. It is actually their interns and their clerks. It is the special interests that work in their interests, and they sign on. They say we need something on this, and they go do the research, and they bring it out, and they put their name on it.
They call it.
Right?
They call it.
And the point is because
you have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from.
Just so y'all know, it's real.
This is real.
East Jersey State Prison. This call will be monitored and recorded for customer assistance, collection, or complaint procedures.
East Jersey State
for
Prison.
using Global Tel Link.
These are the calls that's coming
Hello,
in. Please keep sharing, everyone. All right. We want everyone to keep sharing. These calls that you hear are coming in are the real calls.
I want to say one thing about Rusty. The call that you had, or the video you seen earlier, where the guy talking about the state committing murder to solve a murder.
Right.
Rusty was a soldier. Rusty served in the U.S. military. So his crime happened the way it did. Whatever happened.
Mm-hmm.
And he served life for it, and he corrected his behavior. He transformed.
Right.
However, if he was a soldier and you sent him somewhere to kill millions of people, gave him an aircraft capable of destroying a 20-block radius, that'd have been okay. And he came back home, he would have sent him, go about your business.
Right.
Go file for PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Get a check and sit somewhere.
Okay.
That would have been okay. And yeah, this guy, he committed this crime. He's remorseful for it. He spent 30 years trying to transform.
30
he did
years.
Transform. The state get close to $1 billion a year. The correction facility get close to $1 billion a year to correct your behavior. He corrected his behavior on his own. This is voluntarily, and yet you still didn't let him out. So why are you getting all this money to correct these people's behaviors in prison if you're not going to let them out once their behavior is corrected?
It's a money game. They make money off us.
So
they make money off us.
To Sulaimani's point, you have to understand that either we're paying $1 billion and they're doing a great job and we're safe, or they're not, right? And I'm not saying it's a zero sum. The thing is, we have to look at it. We have to look at it in a way to where is parole working? If it is, then why wasn't he paroled? Either it works or it doesn't, right? And we're spending money either way. Either way, if it doesn't work, we're paying money to keep him in. If it does work, he's still in there.
He's still in there.
So, like, both of these things can't be true at the same time.
It's not level.
Right? So the thing is that how do we, and this is one of the things that I bring up in the work that we do at TJI and at Dare Academy and with our coalition partners. You want to know a sure way to know whether or not a person is going to commit another crime if released? It is real simple. Watch their service while they're incarcerated. Watch who they're in service of. I have never saw in my 30 years someone who was in service of the population of the institutions that they were in commit another crime and come back. I've never seen it. I've seen a lot of selfish people, F everybody and this and that. They're always in and out. But people in service of other people inside the carceral community never come back. And to me, it's no wonder why the parole board keeps those kind of people stuck behind that wall or that fence.
We got our work cut out.
Yeah.
We got our work cut out. I just got a question on Facebook from Jackie Smith. Is very. I like this. I want people to comment on what they're hearing from our brothers from East Jersey State Prison. What you're going to be hearing from Ibrahim and Tony and myself today. Comment. Let us know what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and how you can be a part of this coalition. We're here to fight. We have a big fight ahead of us, and we're not giving up. Like you said, we're not going to feel sorry. Feeling sorry doesn't get you nowhere. The fight is going to get us where we need to be. We have to get them home. We have to fight the parole board. We have to, we just say, undesign this design justice system so our brothers and sisters that's inside can come home and get their justice. And you got to remember, we still have kids and grandkids out here. We could be the next ones. So let's not just get too comfortable in ourselves, because just like they're being underhanded and treated wrong and their life just throw away like they're nothing, we're the same.
And one thing you got to remember, we got to go after these politicians as well. We got to change these seats and remove these people who aren't working in our interests.
Right.
You have people working in the interests of people for so long. Now it's time for them to work in our interests. That's what Transformative Justice Initiative is about. Recapturing the narrative and putting it out how it should be put out. To Jackie Smith, I'll inbox you a number later on to give to your nephew, and you can have him put mine or Tone's number on his list, so that way he'll be able to call in.
Yeah.
We're here to service and get the testimonies. This is what it is. Testimonies, new entry testimonies. I'm trying to figure out a way. Our brothers and sisters that's still locked in, we still going to hear their voices. We have a way to hear their voices now. So
this is what we call.
We're roaring.
This is what we call voices from the inside.
Voices from the inside. I like that.
Umar, who do you have next? Umar?
Everybody else is gone. I'm the only one here besides Wale.
All right, keep on talking.
Well, let me tell you. Okay, how did y'all all meet? Were y'all all in together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All in with what? Trent State or are we Broadway?
Broadway.
Okay.
Yes.
We
have what Tone and Ibrahim and all of us built. We built a coalition on the inside with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of us, they most of us come from different places, and we don't like Tonite from Camden. I'm from Newark. Sulaimani was from Middlesex County. We were all from different places,
Right.
but we understood together what was being done to us. We had nobody to speak for us until Anton Henshaw walked out of this door and said, I'm going to help my brothers. I'm not going to forget about y'all. We heard this for so many years from guys. They go out there and then they find a way to say, okay, yeah, well, you can call me and I'll send you money for a food package. I don't need money for a food package. I need you to get me the support that I need when I have to go sit before these people, before these 14 people, and say, listen, this is why I should be set free, back out there with my family, and back out there and out in the world with my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah.
So you have those that forgot about.
Right. This is the fight. So if that's not what you're going to do, if you tell me you're not going to do that, I would respect that. But don't tell me you're going to do something and don't do it. Sulaimani and Tone went out there and said, this is what we're going to do, and we're seeing it right now.
No.
You know, I didn't have, Tone can tell you, I really didn't think I had any family members to come home to for a long time. But when I go to parole, I needed that. All of a sudden, I found a family member that said, okay, yeah, well, you can come stay here, which was actually my father. And my father is a formerly incarcerated. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for me to go live with him, but blessings come to those who we always had this motto that we got to put in the work, and we put in the work.
Right.
We team work hard. We always work hard, whether it was school or trying to do the things that we need to do to help each other.
Stayed in those law books.
Yes.
Those school books.
Those school books. Wow.
So, and like you say, when
and this is what we did for each other. Like people don't know this is a world. We understand that it's a world out there, but it's a world in here too.
Mm-hmm.
And we all work together. Like I don't know what's going to happen when I go to this board, but I know that I did the work.
Right.
One thing the man was amazed by me when I went in, he said, explain to me how you've been in prison for 30 years and you don't have a charge. And people think that that's hard. No, it's not hard. It's easy. You choose a path. You have two paths in here just like you have two paths out there in the world. One path is you can go down this one and do everything that you did on the street. You can use the drugs. You can do those things. But then there's another path that says in order for you to make amends for what you've done when you was out there, you have to better you so then you can go back out there and better those on the outside.
Right. And that's the path you chose. And they obviously chose. Well,
right.
Wow.
When you're thrown away,
mm-hmm.
And when you're talking to your brothers and you watching them, like, it's hard. Like, every holiday season, I shut down for the last 2 years because I can't celebrate unless I hear from them that I know they're okay.
Right.
So, and it's like survivor's guilt, right? That I survived something and then I'm watching 15 people that I grew up with in prison over the last 30 years needlessly lose their life. And then people go, what's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, what's not wrong with you?
Right.
Because what's wrong with me should be wrong with you too.
Right.
People should not just go in there and die and be thrown away. So I can't lay down. My prison father, Mr. Perkins, always said, you sleep when you die. You'll have plenty of time to sleep when you die.
I like that.
So, and for 2 years, we worked to build to this point. And a lot of people don't understand what we're doing, why we do what we do, what drives us, what motivates us. It's because it wasn't your calling.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
It wasn't your calling, and there's no need for us to explain. But every brother that's in there that's on this call, they knew. for decades that we said when we get out, this is what we were going to do.
And my story is, I was never incarcerated, but I worked in several prisons years ago, and just working in the prison systems, I caught a feeling in there. I wanted to help. I wanted to help our brothers and sisters that was in there to come home, not to go back. This was over 17 years ago. So it did something to me. And then here I am 17 years later. The meeting that I was going to go have, a plan that I had wrote out to stop the revolving door, is back again. And it wasn't planned. This was not planned. It happened. The shift came, and I said, thank you, God. You know, these guys right here, they came as angels, as they were in there, as they are for you. They're the same for me. They came and pulled me to be a part of what their coalition and what they're doing to help everyone understand and get home to their families, and to have people out here to understand how they can help in this fight. Like you said, we have to change the politicians. We have to change the way this design system is made. We have to. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. If you don't understand it, it's not meant for you. If you want to be involved, you'll come in and put in the work. No nonsense. It is what it is.
It's simply two things for me: transformation and restoration. We have to transform that which is crooked and just not doing what it's supposed to do. And then we have to restore, all of us, as a result of it. If we do not transform it and we do not restore people, we're not going to be healthy, we're not going to be safe.
Right.
We have to be healthy first and then safe. We have to stop this false narrative of public safety over public health.
Right.
Public health must come first. And then, by virtue of our health, we will be safe. We must end structural violence in all its forms. I don't care where you're at, what you're doing. You're not just going to walk up to TJI or our NAS team, Minority Opportunity Specialist for Camden County, and just tell us anything. We have a transferable skill. You should have never made us slaves. Now you're going to have to deal with us. You should have never did it. And you wouldn't have to face us right now. And everybody that's doing it wrong, don't worry about it. You'll be doing it right real quick.
All right.
2021, you will be doing it right real quick, or you'll be getting out of the way. There will no longer be profit before people. There will be people before profit in service and in public health of our communities. Our communities are no longer going to be satellite prisons. We're not doing this anymore, right? And anybody that's investing in it, that are invested in institutions and organizations that make our prison, our communities prisons, right? And our people prisons in our community, we coming for you, right? Ain't gonna be nasty. We just
have 60 seconds
gonna
remaining.
point it out, and you're gonna have to now to every taxpayer, because you do understand we're 83,000 strong. We have the right to vote, all of us, and we fought for that, and we're coming, and we are registering, we are organizing, and we are coming. And we're going to organize with the people that are out here, that have been living in this nightmare, that have been suffering through these nightmares. It is about public
You have
health.
30 seconds remaining.
Public health and structural violence. If we can get to that space, we will win every argument and we will not lose anything.
And there you have it. Also for the families, we have to be there for the families, because we're going to be getting testimonies from the families and spouses as well. From our brothers and sisters that's locked behind these walls. They have families, they have spouses that's also locked up too. It's a mental thing. It's just it's a physical thing. So brother Russell, is he still there?
Russell, no.
Oh, he hung up? Okay. Well, everyone, I want to get right to y'all stories. We had some great exclusives, testimonies come through that live tonight, did we not?
Yep.
And this is what you're going to be looking forward to here on Tuesdays. Who knows? This Tuesday's going to be locked. We might get locked up more, because people need to hear these testimonies. They need to hear what's going on. So we're going to do what we got to do. That's just it. But I know that I started off with Ibrahim before you came in.
He was at 15. So
He was at 15?
Yeah. So I know where he left off.
Yeah.
At. So I had a middle.
I love these guys. I'm telling y'all, being around it's been like a month.
Yeah.
It's been about a month that we've been around each other, learning each other, but we met each other months before. And, we've been like the social, social network buddies, but now I'm telling you, we're literally we're locked. We're family.
We met at say their name.
Say your name. Yeah, say their names in Trenton. And we cried there.
Yeah.
Tears was rolling down our faces hearing their stories. So I know what I heard. But I'm sitting here tonight with you guys, and y'all finna hear their testimonies of before. You already heard their now. So when they say you can't change, here's proof right here. Here's proof. Who want to start? It's up to you.
Well, like I was saying before the brother called in, the courts waived me up to adult court. Basically, it was a mandatory waiver because I had a clinical psychologist. I had my own paid attorney, which is contrary to everybody's belief that if you get your own paid attorney, you're not going to jail. Mm-hmm. I had my own paid attorney. I had my attorney paid for a clinical psychologist. Clinical psychologist diagnosed me that said that I could be rehabilitated within 5 years of being sent to Albert C. Wagner Correctional Facility, which is Bordentown. Mm-hmm. The court said, whatever, raised me to adult court, which means I stood trial as an adult, even though I was still 15. So I wasn't afforded all the things adult court are afforded. I mean, adults are afforded, such as bail. I remained in the youth correctional facility, which is not doesn't have any law library, doesn't have any paralegals, doesn't have anybody to help you hold to your constitutional right of being able to participate in your trial. Okay. I didn't know anything about the court system. I didn't know much about the streets.
And they knew that. They knew that.
Of course they knew that. Yeah. So I went to trial, 4-week trial. The prosecution pretty much didn't have anything except a self-incriminating statement, put me at the scene of the crime. Other than that, they wasted state dollars having like hundreds and hundreds of unnecessary witnesses. By witnesses, I mean state trooper coming to testify to the ballistics of the bullet, that this bullet went into this wall. Another one come and say this one was on the floor. Just unnecessary. They just gave the people's money away because they could. The state has millions of dollars to prosecute the people they say they represent,
which they're still doing today.
Of course. So I went to trial. I was found. Before trial, I went picked from a jury pool of 85. I believe it was 85 jurors, mostly white. I ended up with an all-white jury, except for one black woman. Then I had a black alternate and a white alternate. So they, contrary to you being tried before your peers, none of them were my peer, racially, socially, anything. I was 15 years old.
15. He was 15, and you was treated as an adult. He was 15 and treated as an adult.
So they eventually found me guilty. I was in the bullpen next to the jury room, and I can hear it was the men who were convinced that I was guilty. You could hear the women, like, they were putting up a defense, but eventually they were broken down. They came back, called everybody back in. The women were crying, they were distraught. When it was all said and done, they found me innocent of knowing and purposeful murder, which is the actual murder, and guilty of 2 felony counts of murder, which basically said that even though I didn't do it, my mindset puts me in the category of doing it. Basically,
wow.
I thought like a criminal. I thought like a killer, so I was a killer.
Wow.
That's what it comes down to.
And this was in Trenton.
In Trenton, New Jersey, yeah, Mercer County.
Wow.
Go to the county. They put me in PC because I was 17.
Okay.
I was found guilty May 9th of 90. I was still 17. I turned 18 30 days later, so I remained in protective custody until I became an adult. Then they put me in general population. I sat in general population for about 9 months. Before court, before the sentencing. Before sentencing. When the sentencing, my lawyer tried to argue for a lesser sentence.
And you thought you were coming home, or you thought?
Well, not at the point of being found guilty. I knew, before then I thought I was. So I went to court. I went to sentencing. The judge was like, the mandatory minimums. They did that whole. But the court says this, and This is between 30 to life, all of that.
And you sitting there not understanding any
I
of it. They
didn't understand
calculating.
it.
They
No,
just calculating years on his life.
So eventually, at the end of the day, I was sentenced to 30 years of life and sent to Yorville Correctional Facility.
And you had a child at that time.
Yes, your son-in-law.
My son-in-law, yes. Yeah, that's another testimony between him and I. That's amazing how we came together. Although I had met him before and didn't know, but once I found out, I came for him. They said I made an OG call.
He definitely made an OG call. But you know, it's something interesting that you say that's left out. See, in this justice, there's this whiteness, right, that is codified in law that causes the othering of a guy like Ibrahim Sulaimani and myself and other brothers, right? But more specifically him, because he was 15, right? So they have this statute in the sentencing code called the Youthful Offender Act. And what that means is, even though you were sentenced, let me speak it. Even though you were convicted of a first-degree crime, you could be sentenced 1 degree lower because you were a juvenile under the Youthful Offender Act. It is an escape valve that are only used for privileged young white males. So I'm going to give you a case, and you'll think about this. Remember when Seton Hall and those kids did that thing in the dorm and killed all of those people?
But they killed 3, injured 59.
Right. They killed 3 people and injured 59. Right? Everybody remembers this case. Right? They were sentenced under the Youthful Offenders Act. And what they did was, it allows them to say, oh, these people are redeemable, and therefore we're not going to destroy their lives.
Oh, they're okay.
They're okay. They killed 3 people and injured 59. And yet Ibrahim, myself, and a few other brothers that you heard on this call tonight served 30 years. They didn't even serve 5.
We were still serving time. We were on parole. We could be lynched at any time.
Anytime. Bro, every day.
So you have to understand, like, law is an instrument of violence. Right? And it's the fact that we don't understand how it's weaponized. Like, that was the biggest thing that I would advocate on the inside. If you don't learn the law, you don't know how it's used against you, you can't get out from under it. So the thing is that I'm looking at the Youthful Offender Act, and I'm saying, why my brother didn't get the Youthful Offender Act? It was at the judge's discretion to do it. Yeah, the law says he was convicted of a first-degree crime. But he had the discretion in this law to sentence to him to 1 degree lower. He did not have to give Ibrahim life. Ibrahim could have been home 20 years ago.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But it's about who's doing the sentencing and how one is viewed in this criminal justice process. So I'm saying, like, okay, they didn't just do him. They did thousands and thousands.
Many more stories
of our young black and brown bodies. Right? And they're continuing to do them. You heard the brother talk about the football numbers. He went from 14-8 to 30. From 30 to 63 and a third to 100 to 200 years. In the course of a 30-year span. I haven't seen the murders go down. I haven't seen them go down because of incarceration. I have not seen the robberies go down because of incarceration.
And don't forget, you also had death penalty as a deterrent in New Jersey at one time.
Right. The death penalty never stopped one murder. But let me tell you what stops it. When you start putting resources back into the communities that this stuff is coming out of. No one talks about when those resources was pulled out from the schools, from social services, right? And it's the same way inside. New Jersey's DOC has $1 billion budget. 1% of their budget goes towards education. The majority of that education are in youth facilities, and rightfully so, and the 1% is shared between 13 institutions. Now you tell me how that makes sense mathematically. 1% of a billion gets shared between 13 entities, with the lion's share going to the youth facilities. But you also have to understand a lot of this is subsidized by the federal government, right? The 2C criminal code was brought in as a federally subsidized sentencing code. All of these codes that you're talking about, No Early Release Act, the federal government pays the state of New Jersey to adopt these sentencing guidelines in order to sentence young black and brown bodies into oblivion.
Now, when you address this with the government, what do they say?
Oh, I'm not supposed to know this.
Oh, you're not supposed to know.
You're just a nigga from Camden.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You're just a dumb nigga from Camden with a GED that you got in prison.
Right. That's how they
Right?
look at you.
So my thing is this, like, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. I never rise to anybody's low expectations of me.
Okay.
I promise y'all I'll never rise to anybody's low expectations. I promise you. But the beautiful part about it is, what we have to understand is that I understand that what Koki Anna Rivera always says, follow the money. She always taught us that, follow the money. Then I started looking at the parole statutes and the procedures. Then I started figuring out, oh, they get paid to keep lifers in prison.
Yes. They ain't doing this for nothing.
Oh, they don't just let you go. There's no money in letting you go. That's just one aspect of it, right? Besides not being accountable. Why is parole in New Jersey such a secretive process? Why doesn't the public, whose interest is being done, knows what's being done in its interest? And no one is questioning it. We can all talk about how bad it is, but nobody is looking over the wall and saying, what you doing? Because they're doing it in your name, in our name. We're paying taxes, right? We got 14 members sitting on this board plus other members. I have never once saw anybody from parole until I reached 8 months before my eligibility. They told me every time I would write them, oh, when your time comes, someone from parole will contact you. The guidelines say you're supposed to be in contact with them and working through, and they're supposed to be helping you prepare for parole. Supposed to be. This is why they're there.
Right.
Not just for people that's coming up for parole, but people that are preparing for parole.
Coach you for release.
And to help guide you and steer you. I didn't see anybody until 8 months prior to my eligibility.
Now, okay, I want to get back to, because I want people to know, they done heard your name, they done heard Camden. I want them to know what happened to Tony Henshaw from Camden back in, what was it? It was the 1980s, correct?
1988.
Because they know who you are now, what you're doing now. What led up? Because what I keep coming back to is when, what was that, Brother Omar?
Omar, yep.
That said that it took 15 minutes, and they told him he can't change. They don't see those. Oh, that was Dr. Owens. Dr. Owens. So that's like stuck with me. It took them 15 minutes, and he already did over 30 years. So, and y'all are proof that you can change.
Well, here's the problem.
I want to talk about your transformation.
Well, the transformation. I was blessed to be around. And to be around some great men, men that invested in our youth in our most darkest moments.
Okay.
So the person that sits here before you today was not the person that entered the prison system. I was traumatized. I was abused. I was living on a trauma loop that said nobody would ever hurt me and nobody would ever do anything to me. And I stood on that. I don't care who you was, what was happening. If I thought you was going to hurt me, I would hurt you first. And but that came from, you know, for me, 13, I shared it with you before, 13 years old, and there was an assassination attempt on my life for selling drugs in the project I grew up in. And it changed me. It changed me in a way that I'm still coming to grips with today, right? So, and it's like I really have to struggle that I'm not in that moment.
Right.
Because they paid somebody I trusted to kill me. You know, at 13.
At 13 years old. Everybody that's just coming on, this is Tony Henshaw. I see some new people coming on. Ibrahim Sulaimani sitting here. And this is Wine Glasses Up Show. And this is new entry testimonies with exclusive testimonies. So it's going to be so much more. I'm just saying some new people live and on. So everybody, please feel free to comment and share and ask questions, what you don't understand, what you need to know. This is the time. Back to you, I'm sorry. But
So,
13 years old, there was a hit on your life.
There was a hit on my life because I guess I didn't go through the proper channel to set up a drug set. All of it, and all, I want you to understand everything that happened because I made a wrong decision. I was not what I did and the way I did it was not righteous in the least bit. But I still don't think that adults should have paid another adult to kill a 13-year-old child.
A kid, yes.
Like, who does that? And from that point on, I felt like, you know, what was happening in my home life and what was happening in the streets.
Right.
I'm like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die fighting. You know, and if I'm going to kill, I know, I had a self-fulfilling prophecy that I was trying to live out. I expected to be dead before my 18th birthday, and that's the way I lived. But I was dead. I was civically dead for the last 30 years. So when I was incarcerated for a homicide that was committed in the city of Camden with myself and 3 other people who were there, I was the only one charged. I wouldn't tell, I wouldn't open my mouth, I wouldn't say anything. I went to trial, I lost. And as a result of that, you know, there's a lot of details I can't go into.
Right.
Because the statute of limitations on murder, there is none. So therefore, I just take everything, I carried everything, I did the time, and I just leave it at that.
Right.
Now, when you hear the street story and how this thing goes, it's not the way it was in the paperwork. But in prison, I had to make a decision. How was I going to survive 30 years? I believed that the justice system was going to correct itself and right this wrong. It never happened. And as a consequence, I had to learn law to understand how to undo what was being done. I could do it for others, but I couldn't do it for myself. And I could inspire others to learn the law, but I could not get myself out. I could get hundreds of people out of prison. I could read documents, and I couldn't get myself out. And I became disenchanted with law, but I became good at it because I had good people teaching me.
Right.
I had good people investing in me. I had good people caring about me in my most darkest moments. And then I got to the point where light started coming on. Things that my grandfather and my grandmother said, things that my father would say would begin to blossom inside the most darkest spaces, which was Trenton State Prison. We call that the House of Pain.
Trenton State Prison, the House of Pain.
Yeah, House of Pain.
Wow.
So we call Railway the belly of the beast. And in that space, the investment of Mr. Perkins, Mr. Cakes, and a few other old heads, Charlie Redden, you know, like I don't know why they like me. Because I was wild. I just really don't know why they like me.
They love you.
But they love me, and they really poured into me, and they would stress that you're not like everybody else. You're different. You know what I mean? And I didn't see it because I had something to prove, and it got me to the space where the only thing you have to prove is to yourself. And once I got to that space, my biggest obstacle was me. Nothing outside of me. So, and then when I started working and started building programming and started learning from great men and great people that were volunteering, coming in, my life began to change. Right? I used to be deathly afraid of speaking in front of people. I got my GED. I was the class valedictorian. and I gave the first speech. And it's crazy because I can talk to 1,000 people that are afraid to walk up and talk to one.
Yes.
It's exactly the opposite.
Right.
But I had people even in the House of Pain that loved me, that cared about me, that gave me the direction and guidance to my purpose.
Right.
You know, like Russell Owens, like, you know, we're the same age, but a lot of people don't realize that this was the most gentlest, most beautiful person that you ever want to meet. Like, you'd never even want to hear Russ raise his voice.
I never heard him raise his voice.
Right.
No.
So to watch this man be so giving and so loving and just say, like, in service of, it's like, damn, I want to be like this dude. And he my age. But he reminded me of older people that I had already experienced.
Right.
So by the time I got to the point where I started helping people, you have to realize that your service is not contingent upon whether people deserve it or not.
Not being a judge or jury, just
Right.
doing your part.
You just have to do it because a lot of people say, man, I can't see how you do what you do. Some of these dudes don't deserve it. You should just let them stay in here. And I said, I cannot not help the people who don't deserve it, because the people that do won't benefit from it. They're going to mutually benefit from the work.
Right.
So, and getting to the point where it's about transformation. It's about really walking into situations. And I love when they say, oh, you was locked up for a murder. You was this, you was that. You sold drugs, you this and that. You shot people. And I sit there, you know, like, yeah, I used to do those things. But here's what I'm doing now. And I'm a graduate student at Rutgers Camden. I graduated cum laude from Rutgers Newark. I graduated with honors from Mercer County Community College, all while I was in prison.
They don't like that though.
Right. No,
They more afraid of you there than.
right. So the point is that what we have to do with our transformation is we have to, like, help people get to the point that if you want to be stuck in 1988, I'm going to leave you there.
Stay there.
But I'm going to stay right here in 2021.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We had wine glasses up.
Yes.
They told me I was never coming home. They what's the boy name? Patrick Nogan said I would never come out of prison. The administrator at East Jersey State Prison.
Where's he at right now? I need him to be watching this.
Northern State
I
Prison.
think he's the administrator at Northern State Prison.
Let's
He
see him
said,
around.
I will never leave prison walking upright. I would leave out of prison on my back with a toe tag.
Ooh.
And then when I was granted parole on my first eligibility, he took credit for it.
Oh.
And I began to wrestle with that. At first, I was angry about it. And then I said, you know what? He's right. Because I wouldn't have went as hard had he not said what he said.
So that was your that was the enemy. Like,
Right. Because you
Gotta use
right.
you
tested
have
me.
to understand
Right.
that every adversary is there for a reason.
Right.
And until you learn that it's the adversarial process, right, that's going to make or break how you see yourself,
The challenge.
right? So I can't be around people that don't push me to the next level, right? I need people that are better than me, right?
Right.
And this guy clearly wasn't better than any of us.
And this was the
Right?
administrator.
This was the administrator that was in charge of 1,200 lives,
Uh-huh.
telling me that I would never leave prison alive.
Wow. That's
Right?
deep.
He didn't know me. No, what he knew about me was, cracker. And I don't say that to be disrespectful,
Uh-huh.
right? Because he did some racist stuff. He said some racist stuff to me. And I said right to his face, looked at him, cracker, this ain't what you want. Right? And I don't live on my knees. And whatever you decide to do to me, you're only doing it to me because I'm here.
Right.
But once I get on the other side of this wall, right?
That's what he didn't want.
Right? So I'm saying, are you fixing? Are you correcting people? Or are you sentencing them to die? Are you rejudging what's already been judged?
Right.
No, we're not doing that.
Tell me about the head cracker.
Oh, he told me.
Oh, you got a head cracker?
Yeah, he said,
That's the same guy.
the same
okay.
guy said
Okay.
to me, he said, don't worry about it. You keep acting up in my prison, I'm going to send you down there with the head crackers in Bayside. So
this still going on today.
yes.
All this is still going on.
So my supervisor said he didn't see the racistness in what he said.
It didn't take a second for me to pick that up. So,
But he said, no, he's talking about people cracking you in the head. I said, nah, that's not what he's saying. He's saying the head crackers, right? There's a euphemism going on right here. There's a play on words, right, that you're missing
right.
because you're white and you're in your whiteness, right? So there's a difference between being white and being whiteness, right? And we need to understand that. Dr. Johnson taught us this very well.
White and whiteness.
White, there's a difference between, see, white is neutral. It's very distinct,
Okay.
right? It transcends color, right? It can love you. It can want the best for you. It can help you. But whiteness, it only wants to exclude and keep you out. And this guy wanted me to believe in the prophecy that he was trying to speak into my life, despite what was going on.
Poison your brain cells.
But here's what I told that man and his whiteness. I said, I hope you transfer me out of your institution,
Okay.
because I will be legendary in the prison system. That means that I was administratively transferred out of 2 maximum security prisons, unheard of in this state. So you could go ahead and send me where you're going to send me. And I'll go. And wherever I'm at, I'm going to advocate for people. I'm going to fight for families. And I'm going to fight for my brothers and sisters behind this wall.
Right.
I'm not going to stop because you send me somewhere where somebody can physically harm me. You don't know where I came from. They tried to kill me at 13 and I'm still here.
And I'm still here.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
They sent me to an adult male facility as a child, never being incarcerated before.
Juvenile lifer sitting right here.
And I'm still here. Are
First
you
time offender.
First time offenders.
I'm still here. Are you kidding me? There's nothing you can do. What are you talking about? Do you know who you're talking to? And not only did I built warriors. And I build with warriors. Right? I don't want soldiers.
No, you want frontliners.
No, I don't want soldiers. Because soldiers very seldom improvise unless you're in the Marines. Right? Right? But warriors, they could take an adverse and an abstract situation and figure it out without having to be told. Right?
Wow.
To whereas, and then they can come back into a collective and do. That's all I surround myself with is warriors and warriorettes. And everywhere I go.
Right.
And people miss that part. Oh, Tone the head. No, I ain't the head of nothing. I ain't the leader of nothing. Not one person that you can meet ever can say that I've ever said I was a leader.
And I want to say that the purpose of that is if anything ever happens to me, or Tone, or Sean, or Kevin, or Daryl, somebody else is going to pick that mission up. The torch is going to continue.
Oh, yeah, it's
So
not
there
just
is
them.
hope.
It's
No.
not just them. I'm telling you, it's so much more.
And you haven't even met the women.
Yes,
The
I've been
Tias
using.
and the Nafisa Goldsmiths and all of them. You haven't even met.
And now
Well,
you have
met
your
them.
Lioness. Now you have your Lioness on here. These are my brothers.
You haven't met Ahava.
Oh my God.
You haven't met Bree. You haven't met, like, we're building warriors.
Yes.
Right?
And it feels good.
And
This feels good to go and be on the front line for a good cause to save our people that has been deemed, worthless. And
Did you see Brianne the other day?
Brianne.
When we were at meet him at the gate?
The little white girl.
Oh yeah.
Did you see Brianne?
Yes.
Did you see her jumping around and see the energy?
Oh my God. I remember. Yeah, we got her on video
Did
too.
you see
Yes.
Maggie?
I see them all out there.
Do you see these warriors being built?
Yes.
Right?
I'm telling y'all.
Out of love.
What's
This ain't
the lie?
no violence. This was out of love, and they're saying, wait a minute, I need more of this.
Gotta come back. When the next one? When the next one?
So now, what happened to Cake's family?
Oh my God.
We'll be at the next one.
We'll be at the next one.
When we went this morning, what happened? Oh my God, this is love. I've never experienced this
All
before.
love.
So when you build a warrior cadre out of love, there's nothing the enemy can do to stop that.
Right. And all looking forward to the next one, the next one, the next one. And it's so easy to do. It's not, it doesn't take a lot.
So when we say new entry,
Yes.
right, everybody say, well, why y'all ain't write it down? We live in it. You don't have to write it down. This is the easiest way to deceive a man is put it on paper and put it in a book. But when you have a living testimony of what you're doing,
Yes.
you are a part of an oral tradition that say, watch the work. Watch what they're doing.
Just watch.
Right?
Yes.
And then go talk to the people. Come out there. When everybody say, how can I help? We said, just show up.
Just show up. Tell them right there. Just show up.
They go, how do we send donations? We say, we don't need donations. Bring it to them yourself. Just show up.
You will feel the energy even better just seeing them. How Asia was today. Asia Jones came home today. We met her at the gate at the Man Women's Correctional Facility. Oh my God!
What
Beautiful.
about the other lady that we didn't even know?
Yeah, Nakoma. Yeah, Nakoma. Oh my gosh!
And her sister.
Can't
And
wait
her
to hear
sister.
from them. It's on the live. If y'all don't, what we're talking about right now is on my page. It was live this morning. We were live yesterday at Eastern Jersey State Prison. Welcoming home brother Eddie Case. It was beautiful, and that was my first one. That was my first meetup at the gate. And today was my second. And let me tell you, I'm going every time. We have fun too. Let me say, we do have fun with it. Paparazzi taking pictures as soon as we fall asleep. We are a family coalition, and we love seeing each other. So that's why I say, watch what we post up. We will be posting up when and when the meetup at the gates is going to happen. Tell them about meetup at the gates. Listen, I'm in a groove, y'all. The spirit is rolling. We're going to continuously put out the content. We want this to just continuously grow. You can start your own organization, as so many did, like BMU down Atlantic City, Black Men United. They came from Atlantic City and drove up to Rahway.
But you got to understand, right? Black Men United, Steve Young, right? And all the brothers. We already had relationships with these brothers.
Right.
Steve Young, we met him through the NAACP Prison Project. He came in, a strong black man, fighting for black men who were not only looking for information and education, he was bringing it in and bringing it to the people who were oppressing us. So when we came home and we linked up, like when you watch people, like you look at Eddie Cakes is like, oh snap, you look different.
Yeah.
Because he remembers somebody fighting for us.
Yes. And
So,
he cried. Oh my God.
When we do meet him at the gate, it is strictly something very simple. It is one of the most basic principles of new entry. We don't re-enter. This is new.
New.
Right?
N-U.
N-U-E-N-T-R-Y.
And yes, we're going to have shirts ready. They don't have to, well, they have their Dare Academy shirts on now. Meet them at the gates.
Shirts and
And listen, we're going to be putting it all out there. You know, we want y'all to be a part. Don't just get a shirt just to wear it. Get a shirt and be a part.
No, listen. You
know.
can't have a shirt if you don't put in the work.
Thank you.
It's that simple.
Thank you. Because I put in my work.
Do not try to buy a shirt and you didn't put in no work.
No nonsense.
Right? I'm telling you right now, right? Because we will call you out. We will indict you.
Ooh.
Right?
On the Wine Glasses Up show.
And we don't care about how you feel.
No.
And we don't do retractions or apologies.
No.
We're not.
No.
Listen. And I'm saying to you, right? We honor those that have been harmed by the things that we've done. We honor those with the work that we do now, right? As a means of restoration, of restoring our community, of healing our community. So if you're not coming to heal and to restore, to forgive, to love, don't even come. I'm telling you, because once you come and you experience it, what you see on video, I hear a lot of my brothers feel emotional and this and that. Like when I watch my sister Tia from Forte House and All of Us Are None cry, and she remembers the things that I was telling her when we were graduating college in Newark. And I said, what did I tell you? And I've been inviting people a long time. I've been inviting even people we disagree with, right? Because I know something about the power of love that I never experienced as a child. That is very transformative. Right. And to meet them at the gate, the love that a person is receiving after the most darkest moments in their life is transformative and restorative in a way that I don't care what reentry program you put together, it can't compete with it.
It won't. I'm telling you, you have to be there.
It can't
You
compete
have to
with
be
it.
there. It's like a woman having birthing a baby. You know what I'm saying? My sister, you know when we give birth to a baby and then they put that baby in our arm. It's the most beautiful feeling. It's an unexplainable feeling. Seeing our brothers and sisters come out that gate and just like, first of all, they're already happy just to be free. But to have the love and people out there like they cheerlead, yeah. That's like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting this. So I didn't know it was going to be so many. Wow, where did this come from? It's going to be so many stories y'all going to hear on this show. They already got a lot of content. You can go to their pages. Transformative Justice Initiative.
Transformative J initiative.
Initiative. I got the initiative right. Me and that word, we fumble sometimes, but it's all right. It's all right. But I need y'all to follow. I tell them all the time. I said, this is a movie, but this is a real life movie. This is going to be a documentary. Everything. Every time we go out there, it is a real life movie. It's unscripted. Their lives are unscripted. My testimony, how I got here, is unscripted. Everything was the power of being.
Very
we had no
organic.
control of it.
It's very organic and authentic.
Yes.
I'm going to give you something else. It isn't till you go shopping for someone you never met,
Oh,
right? That you'll begin to understand. Like, this is a long process, right? It's not just us showing up, making sure they have brand new sneakers, making sure they have pants, underwear, socks, t-shirts, a coat because it's wintertime.
Not even just that. It's not just for men. We're making sure they have the right size panties and bras.
I was with them last night. It was
Because
funny.
I don't know how to shop for a woman.
We were shopping and they had to shop, and it was
took
so funny.
a woman
Yes.
to say,
Yes.
listen,
Yeah,
what size in a woman
Yeah.
do you do this for this?
I'm like, okay, I got the bra, bros. I got the bra. And then, but they did good though. But let me tell y'all something. They was out of that store fast. And I was like, well, what's up? He's like, no, we coming here to get what we coming here to get. Y'all women being here, well, that's cute, and that's nice, and they go together. But they did great. But like you said, the feeling of going in that store and making sure that when our sister walk out that prison, she has clothes. Even if she have clothes on, now she got clothes for the next day. And then the gifts, the gift cards. People just pulling up. You want to donate, just pull up and give a $50 gift card, $25 a gift card,
$10 gift card.
A certificate to a gym, a workout, an application for a job, an application for a room because they need places to stay. Anything that you can give from your heart, even if it's just your time, I guarantee you will never want to miss another meeting at the gate. I guarantee you. Wine glasses up to that, I'm telling you. Yeah, you ain't got no more just simple cider.
That was good. That's well.
But listen, y'all, this is going to be so much more. Anything that you want to say, please comment. Please share. Max Melvin is on the live. Max Melvin from
Max.
Lifers.
What's going on, Max?
Yes, we're definitely going to have him up in the
Our
building.
Nas brother.
Who, brother?
Yeah, he's our new opportunity.
okay.
Entry opportunity specialist.
I thought you was talking about Nas like that.
No, not that Nas.
Because I get down with the hip hop too.
No.
Lifers Group. Right
Lifers Group.
Yeah.
Yes.
We did a documentary with Brother Max.
Okay, he'll be in the building.
So, and like I say, like Max, like let's talk organic, like what we're talking about. Max did not know who I was as an adult, but he remembered who I was as a kid by seeing my father. And when he saw, he said, wait a minute, that's your dad? You was the little light-skinned curly-haired little boy? We've been in the penitentiary together all of that time. And it wasn't until we came home that he realized that I've been knowing this boy all his life. I've been around this kid, knowing his dad all this little boy life. And here it is. We out here working together.
Wow. Hold on. I got another, watch this. I have another great legendary celebrity on this live right now. He just posted up. Freddie Rome, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. I told y'all about Freddie Rome. Great guy. He just says, Freddie Love always win. What's the address for donations? Freddie, I got you. Well, they can.
What's the cash app?
Transformative Justice Initiative. Yeah, $ Transformative Justice Initiative.
Is it Transform Justice?
It's transformative.
We have a Cash App, so
We'll put it up later on back on the.
we'll put it on the
website.
live. Well, you know you can go on if you want. We'll put the Cash App on the live. Anybody that would like to donate
We can do it later on.
to the Cash App, we'll put everything on here.
Oh, I got it on. Hit my phone when I sent you the money.
Let us know what else we can do. Give us some. If y'all have ideas, sometimes it's always good too to hear from the public. What not only what y'all can do, but what else do y'all think that TJI can do? Please let us know. We're growing. We're growing. What else can I do here on the Wine Glasses Up show to help in this coalition? What else could we do? Yes, we are looking for advertisers. Yes, I'm looking for sponsors. Yes, we would like to have people come in and even shoot documentaries. It's so many stories, so many testimonies. People out there looking to do documentaries. Well, I got it right here. I got the real life testimonies, and you heard them calling in. They're from East Jersey State Prison tonight. I have 2 of them right here. I got 2 more in the back over there. I am surrounded with testimony, so you don't have to look for stories anymore. All you got to do is hit Lioness Roars up and say, listen, I would like to do a documentary. I would like to sponsor the documentary. How can I connect with Tony Henshaw, Ibrahim, Sulaimani, Sean Washington, my boy Snacks back there, Dal Brooks, Kevin Baker. Oh my God, there's so many. I'm about to go into my spiritual mode. I can feel it rising up. It's just that I get so many calls now because of this calling that has been put on my life, my shift, to make sure that the testimonies get out there. This is my job.
As new entry opportunity specialists, if you have any family members, our job is to connect your family members, your I guess you could say returning citizens, with resources, jobs, and other such resources. We don't have those resources ourselves yet, but we connect them to the people who can provide that. So you can inbox us at Transformative J Initiative if you want, your family needs help finding a job or filing for SSI or whatever.
Yes, and TJI is nonprofit. So if you're a nonprofit organization, yes, they are nonprofit. All right. So we're putting up in there. The guys are putting up information on the live now for donations. Thank you so much. Whatever you can give, just know that it's going to the right places. Please know that.
And what I want you also guys to know is that a lot of the stuff that we do on our own dime, right? And it's hard sometimes for us to, because a lot of people are coming to co-opt what we're doing. And we want to keep it organic, and we want to keep it grassroots, and we want to keep it for the people. This is why we tell you it's okay to donate, right? But we want you to not just donate, we want you to come and participate and see your donation at work.
Yes.
Right? So when you see people coming out of these institutions and you walk up and you give us something and we hand that to them, we want to see your contribution at work in the lives of these people. So when you watch on some of our the lives from yesterday and today, and you go back on Transformative J Initiative's page, you're going to watch complete strangers, and you're going to watch people that are familiar just hand things to people and truly transform their life. There's not one person that we have done meet them at the gate that has went back to prison yet. There's not one person that has been touched by the love and the public health of our communities that has went back. You know why? I can't let them down. They were there for me. And some of them, this is the first time in their life they have somebody there for them. We don't have to know you, right? All we have to do is have the willingness to love you and say you matter. And here's something. It may not be a lot, but it's something, and it's what we have, and we want to share it with you. And it's in that service that you transform lives.
The brother, November 4th, Met one of the brothers at Pennsauken train station from Camden. I brought him home to Camden, brought him to Dare so he could do an intake. We did the intake with him. Tone took him to get housing. It didn't work out for him, so he came back to us for reasons we'll probably tell you later on. He came back to us, and then Tone took him somewhere else, got him housing. He's doing good now, to the point where he just brought somebody else in, maybe like, what, 3 weeks ago? He brought somebody. He was like, yo, you got, these brothers that help you. And we got him bus tickets and got him into a detox center. And
that led to another brother coming in wanting detox. We heard what y'all doing. Like, the thing is that we don't do it. We connect you to people that can do it that's in the network. We are part of the Camden County Reentry Committee. We're connecting to all the different counties in the state with our coalition to be able to do this work. We don't have to do it. We just have to know that you have a service that we need to connect people to your service. We're not trying to take anybody's lane or step on anybody's toes. We're saying we have an ability, we have a credibility. We're also credible messengers. We all are trained in the credible messaging model. But it's specifically designed for people that were formerly incarcerated and our youth.
Yes.
And with the way we do it, it is so personal, right? But it's all business when it comes to saving people from going inside this criminal justice system. Because once you're in there,
You're in there.
you're in there. And the damage that is going to happen to the people we love. My grandmother used to tell me something real simple. When you find people at their lowest point, they need more love, not less. But don't let them use your love as a weapon against you.
Right. And it's a lot more topics that we will be touching on during the coming shows. We're going to want to hear from spouses, family members, and what they had to go through, how they got through it. You know what I'm saying? Relationship wise, when you have kids, how did they get through it? So those are topics that we're going to be touching on, because it's not just our brothers and sisters that's locked behind the walls. Again, I repeat, it's the families as well. So how did they get through it? I remember, before we close out, I want to say this, because we don't want to give y'all because we want y'all to come back, right? We want to keep coming back, right? So, I think how long we kept them, y'all?
It's 8:03.
Oh my God! I did do the 2. I told you that 2 hours was gonna go by like that. So, I just want to say this part before we say peace and everything. I left out. So you had a son when you went in. I think the last time you seen your son, he was what, 2?
No, he was about maybe about 1.
He was about 1.
Yeah.
Okay, and you just seen your son
maybe like about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago for the first time, along with his
Grandkids.
grandkids.
See my grandkids before I see my son.
Yeah, right. And his son is my son-in-law, and we share grandkids. Look how God worked. We met each other before, but we didn't know that we were connected in that way. And since I found out, I have not let go of this man. And that's what we are. We family. Over here. Now, before I jump over here, you said to me that night after you came to my house and you met your grandbabies, he called me back and he said, if I was to die right now, if I don't wake up tomorrow, I will leave this earth a happy man. I cried. You didn't know that. Hearing him say that, his worst fear was not seeing his son or his grandson again, or his grandsons. And there was no way in the world, when I found out who this man was and what he was doing before I even found out who he was, that I was not going to make that connection. He said, if I die right now, I die a happy man. I cried. Your story, with the love of your life,
my kids, my
Yeah, everything.
Like, mass incarceration destroyed my family. I have 2 beautiful daughters and a son. And it's been hard. I thought that, them not seeing me for a 2-hour visit or not talking to me on a 15-minute phone call that you guys just experienced that's still on the line, or writing letters, that I would come home and everything would be okay. It's not okay. And I've been struggling and fighting to get them to understand that the father that you loved that was in prison is not the same father that came home, that has to learn how to navigate this world. And though I love my children immensely, I love my grandchildren immensely, but I'm damaged. And you have to learn to love sometimes a wilted flower, even though you think the flower is just, you got to love me and all my damage. And like I say, right now, I need more love and not less. And it's going to take a while for my kids and my children and my grandchildren to understand that.
So again, it's not just with, our brothers and sisters that's been locked away. It damaged the family as well. So we have to work on all of that.
Well, that's what slavery did. I mean, just imagine your newborn kid being snatched away from you and sent to another plantation, and maybe coming back 10 years later, and you're being forced to have sex with that kid to produce another slave. That's what this system does. That's what the system of whiteness does. And they call us animals, but we're animals because you treat us like animals,
right? Not
because we are. And we can go into a whole thing about who's really an animal, and we eventually will.
It's gonna be so much knowledge.
We're gonna get into this system. We have some amazing professors who taught us the keys, and it's gonna come out. We're gonna give you the straight narrative. We're gonna cut through all of the nonsense and just take you right from point A to point B, and you'll see why this system works the way it does, and how it's able to continue, and how we can bring it down.
So you're going to have your wine glasses and sparkling cider ready, or your milk or your prune juice, whatever you drink on Tuesdays. We're just starting on Tuesdays, so I already have a feeling it's going even further than that.
You understand, we don't drink.
Yeah. No, they don't.
This is sparkling cider, so anybody that's hating and want to go tell the parole office, you can tell them all you want.
Tell them all they want.
We don't drink.
They don't.
Yeah.
Everything you get from us is 100% natural and organic and authentic.
Yes. And like I tell you all the time, it's not what's in your glass. We talking about the glass. I hold this glass to say we fellowship, and this is how we doing it lovely, and we love ourselves, and we love our life, and we appreciative, and we want y'all to do the same. So just because my show brand name is Wine Glasses Up, it does not mean, we're drinking wine. Sometimes I have tea in here. It's some people always want to find a different reason. I know my reason, and I'm good with it. And I sit back and I sit. They sit sparkling water. Some people just drink water. I'm good with it. As long as you got that wine glass, because that's what the show's about. We are fellowshipping together. All you ladies out there, we will be talking about how y'all got through it. And and men, that went through it. Were you still holding on? Or was you told to go on, live your life, I'll be back? We'll talk about that. That's a great topic right there. No one will be left out in our discussions, and our inspiration, and our motivation, and our calculate. I'm adding all type of words now. They coming out. But thank y'all so very much for tuning in with Lioness Roars and the Wine Glasses show tonight, along with my kings right here, TJI. I'm saying, meet us at the gate. We meeting them at the gate. We doing it all right here. We starting off tonight. So we did the 2 hours. We held y'all long enough. If y'all want us to stay on, we gotta go. We gotta go. Let them know how they can reach out on your pages. Let's do that.
We just check into Transformative J initiative, Transformative Justice Initiative, spelled all the way out, will eventually be our video. It'll be videos only, but right now you can see us on Transformative J initiative.
And also you can WCMD Media, Dare Academy CMD. We're doing wonderful work. Come be a part of what we're doing. It doesn't matter where you from. All we look for is bring your God energy the energy that the Creator has put in you, the love that the ancestors have blessed you with, and let's build.
Let's build.
You know, let's get it.
You said straight to the point. Like, look at him raising his sparkling cider.
Good. Peach.
What?
I'm cider wasted right now.
Hey, I tell you what, but that's some free promotion just went out there. So sparkling cider, you better get at these men.
Also, we're about to start our Transformative Justice Fitness. We work with Ambitious Fitness to do with Ahava Divine. She also does mindset coaching. She does strategic planning and a lot of other things that we work with one of our major partners. We're also in partnership with East Porter Fitness. They're formerly, I think, LA Fitness. We could get you free 7-day trials at any gym, or you could come work out with us.
Be ready though, because they work out.
So we do a lot.
Basketball court will be open soon. We can come play ball. We can TJI basketball.
We can swim, whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah,
but the thing is, you got to come ready to build. Don't come BSing. Well, like I say, we up every day at the same time in the gym. Then we go to work, and we may go back to the gym. And we got the Lioness getting ready to start going to the gym too.
Yeah, I'm gonna work it out. You know, they gotta keep the sexy on. You know, classy and sexy, gotta keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Also, we're going to on Thursdays we'll be starting on the Wine Glasses Up show, unsigned artists. So we're building on that too. One thing we always gotta remember: we got to continuously lead our younger generation on. And all I ask is that anyone that come with music, they come with radio ready music. Okay, so we got to be there for the kids as well. We got to grab them now before the system do. And you heard the stories tonight of what the system can do. You heard from them what the system can do. So let's be all in this together and join this huge coalition and rock with us right here on the Lioness Roars Wine Glasses Up radio show at Dare Academy in Camden, New Jersey, with TJI, with WCMD. We just rolling. To everybody that called in tonight, to everybody that shared this post, that spoke on it, and that's going to be with us. We commend you, we support you, we appreciate you, and we love you. Yeah. And that's coming from the queen herself, Lioness Roars. Peace. And we out.
That's good.